Salutations, good people. It's Melissa here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome in. Welcome. I hope you guys are ready for the awkwardness. Yay! I'm just kidding. Alrighties. So today's video, I'm going to touch upon a little bit. I know because I've been talking about it, but I haven't really spoke upon it. Is about my becoming a phlebotomist. Now, do I currently work as a phlebotomist? Actually, no. But I will talk about my journey to become one, if you guys don't mind. So, if you do not know what phlebotomy is the process. Basically, you make a puncture in the vein, or venipuncture. That's the procedure. That's the procedure itself. That's what it's known. And obviously, a person who performs the phlebotomy is what we call a phlebotomist. It's pretty. Doctors, nurses, lab assistants, a lot of people can do it, but I know here stateside, and I'm only going off what I know stateside. It's done prominently or predominantly by, well, a lot of nurses can do it here, so, you know, it makes it easier. So basically what a phlebotomist is, you are trained, either you learn it on the job or you can go to a vocational or technical school or a community college and learn how to draw blood from a patient, obviously, mostly from veins, for, you know, medical and clinical diagnostic testing, transfusions, donations, research. You learn to withdraw the blood from your fingers, your veins, basically what we call the AC, which is that bund right here. Your arm, your AC is your antecubital. So this area, I'm not, you know, my sleeve is all the way up, but your antecubital, so right there in the bend of your arm is one place where most of the time, there are really good veins situated right in the crook of your arm. That's also what it's also called, the crook of your arm. You also have to know how to do what we call the order of draw. I made myself a little note card here, even though I can remember that. Some countries, I don't know, what are some of the other countries' stringent laws? I would love to look into that. I know in here stateside, certification is only required, I think, in 4 states. Louisiana, Nevada, Washington State, and then California, are some of the 4 states that require certification. You could become a credentialed or certified from there's quite a few different agencies. I think only Cali accepts national certification from, I think, 6 agencies. That's the ACA, which is, I think, American Certification Agency. Don't quote me. The AMT, not to be confused with ambulance medical transport, but it's American Medical Technologist. And then not ASCAP. It's kind of like ASCAP, you know, like songwriters. So the ASCP, which I sat for, which is the American Society of Clinical Pathology. And then you have the National Center for Competency Testing, multi-skilled, multi-usage, medical Certification Institute. I think the acronym is NCTT. So Nixon, Cat, Texas. So NCCT is one. And then I think MMCI is the other one. Makes me think of MCI. Does anybody remember MCI, the phone company? That makes you show how old I am. Bell Atlantic. Before it was Verizon. Before they merged MCI and Bell Atlantic to become Verizon. If anybody remembers that, let me know. Then also the NCA, which is the National Credentialing Agency. And then there is the NPCE, which is the National Phlebotomy Certification Examination. I'm probably missing one. I probably only listed 4, maybe 5. I don't know. I'm not counting. NHS. No, the NHA? NHA? Yeah, National Healthcare Association. NHA. Boom. I think I got them. And you have... So to sit for an examination, you have to complete a full course. It takes less than a year. It takes 5 months, 6 months. And then you provide documentation of your clinical and lab experience. Where I went, you had to have 100 hours of clinicals and 100 sticks to pass. I don't know if that's across the board, but that's what it was at the place. I'm looking at my certificate right now. I'm sitting on my window ledge. Special. I enjoy it. Most people don't like doing it. You know, I had this really cool t-shirt that said a real life vampire. I'm a real life vampire. I'm a phlebotomist. And it's true. We come to suck your blood or draw your blood. That's all orders of the night, especially if you were in a hospital. I did. So now that I've given you just a wee bit of a background, you can sit for your boards here in this not so great state of Illinois, aka land of Lincoln. You do not have to sit for the ASCAP or the ASCP. You can opt to not do it. And you can still get a job. Some jobs, if you want to have a leadership role, I did actually apply to work at my current hospital as a lead phlebotomist, and on third shift. Here's the saying, I didn't even get a shot. They just denied, like, oh, no, we don't want you. I'm like, I have the qualifications. I have the certification. I've done the job. I don't know why. We're not going to get into why I didn't even get an interview or a phone call about that job. Ludicrous. Anyway. I'm going to tell you what led me to phlebotomy. I was at a point in my mid-20s and I felt super uninspired and not unmotivated, but more, I hate to say this term, but I felt like a loser. I hadn't really gotten my together. I don't feel like I still have my together. It's, you know, most of my friends were getting into other medical programs, nursing, radiography, physical assistant or PTAs, physical therapy assistants, and also the occupational therapy assistance programs, and heck, even some friends were shooting their shot at med school as well. And here I am, as I was feeling more like loser Melissa, still living at home with her mama, no man, nothing really to show for. Essentially, it was me having a pity party. I had gotten rejected from the nursing program. I had applied to be a nurse, you know, to enter the program. And the school rejected me. I got rejected. Now, going through a community college to get an associate's, an ADN, which is an associate diploma, or associate degree of nursing, and then doing a bridge program to get a BSN, MSN, would have been far cheaper than going full out and going into a straight-on nursing college where the tuition would have been redonkulous. Redonkulous. I promise this will not be like a 2-hour-long video. I promise. But I was feeling really dejected. That's the term I was looking for. Dejected. I felt dejected. I just didn't feel like I was good for anything. Even though I've had education, I've graduated before, I wasn't working in my field. I worked at a call center. You know, I just didn't feel at the time, no. I had left the call center, but I had spent the majority of the time, like 3, almost 4 years working at a call center. Then I finally got to work at the hospital where I'm currently at, starting out at $9.29 an hour. I took a pay cut from coming from the call center to get out of a toxic environment and to be in healthcare, which is something I've always loved. And I wasn't even working directly with patient care. I was working as kind of like not a greeter, but the hospitality service of a hospital. Some hospitals kind of have staff where, hey, you know, like front office assistants for the entire hospital. That's the best way to describe that department I worked in when I started at the hospital. And after 14 months, I kept getting recommended because I worked in a surgical waiting room. And they were just like, hey, you do a good job. We would like you to come up to surgery. So I kept getting like, yeah, we totally want you to come up to surgery. You know, let's see if we can find you something. Well, a lady there, she no longer wanted to work second shift. She wanted days because her son and his fiance or girlfriend at the time, I don't know, were getting ready to have a baby. So she was excited. I mean, the girl already came with like 2 youngins, like 2 young girls. So she was very excited to get another grandbaby, especially another girl, like I think it was a little boy. I don't know. I forgot. No, I tried to, when some people I tend to purge from my memory. That sounds terrible. Some things I do try to purge and clean out my attic. But anyway, I digress. It's what I do. So, I got recommended. The lady left, but then came back, and I gave her the job. I'm like, even though they wanted me for it, she left and came back. And I was a little sad. And then a few months later, she did move into another position. Something else opened up within the surgical department, and that left that job wide open for me, so I went and applied. Currently, what I do now is I work in the main OR scheduling traumas and all that fun stuff. I also work part-time at Ulta, and I also work at a clinic. I work 3 jobs. Okay, keep up. So, and at this clinic, you think I work as a phlebotomist? Sometimes yes, most of the time no. Anywho, after feeling dejected and just tired of being a schlub, I had gotten, you know, certificate for like funeral services. Now, I'm not a mortician or a funeral director, but I can work in a funeral home, kind of like an assistant manager or a high up ranking clerical person. I got that type of certification. Don't know why. What is it? What am I doing? I used to want to be a funeral director. And actually my friend Hreveva, she is a former funeral director, and I'm so proud of my girl. She's almost done with school for being a radiographer. Whoop whoop. She's going to be an x-ray tech. Woot 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 woot. She graduates in a few months. So woot. And I wasn't using that. I didn't use my education. Like, I wasn't using any of my education other than I proofread doctor's notes and other co-workers' notes when we wrote something on like a patient chart. It would irk me to see lowercase letters, so I would just kind of proofread and clean up the chart, clean up the notepad where we had to write. And they're just like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I just can't help it, okay? I just can't help it. But anywho, my sister and I were both attending college. We ended up actually, it's so weird, going to college with my sister. It was kind of cool, considering that we're so far apart in age that we finally caught up and we went to college together. We even had 2 classes together. And that was kind of fun. We didn't tell people we're sisters. Obviously, we don't have the same last name. She's married. So it's kind of cool, you know. And people are just like, huh. We look similar. We kind of, and they say from the family, they look alike from like here on down. I inherited my father's brother's nose, which is my uncle, obviously. I don't know how. I did not get the nice sharp slope, like Roman nose of my other, like my uncle, my mom, my grandma, my papa, my sister. Like I didn't get the cute, nice, it was like straight nose, like the nice. No, I got this little. It's not bad. It's a little button nose. I've come to terms with it, and you know what? I've come to like it on my face. So that's that. Anywho, we digress for the umpteenth time. It's gonna happen a few more times, okay? Okay. Anywho, feeling dejected, going to school with my sister. She goes, well, let's apply. At the school, you could apply for up to 3 medical or healthcare career programs. So I applied. I shot my, threw my shot at, nursing. So RN, LPN, and I think medical assistant. I didn't get into any of those. And I felt really just, wah, wah, wah. The program or the school has only 2 or 3 programs or courses that they offer more than once a year. Nursing you offer once. Nursing is once a year. LPN once a year. Surgical technologist once a year. PTA, OTA once a year. Massage therapist once a year. I think paralegal once a year. I'm not 110% sure, but that's not health career. But it's one of the more career-based programs they offer at the school. So we were meeting with, she was my advisor, but my sister goes, I don't have one. I said, just come with me. So my sister and I would go in there. It was a 2 for special. This lady was like, well, I'll see both of you. So we were discussing it, and my sister was just like, well, I need to get out of my current situation, with my job. I've been on it for X amount of years. I'm not valued. I'm miserable. So my sister was like, maybe, and the lady, said, well, you've worked as a CNA. Oh, CNA. I'm getting to that. So my sister had worked as a CNA. My sister was in nursing school for a while. And life happens. That's pretty much our motto. Life happens. And also, the lady goes, maybe you should apply for blah, blah, blah. And phlebotomy. My sister goes, well, yeah, okay. And she goes, you should too. And she goes, we offer it twice a year. So they offer it at the beginning of the year, and then they offer it toward the end of the year. I'm just going, okay. What do I had to lose? And so my sister goes, well, if I get in before you, because my sister's GPA was actually better than mine. Let me tell you something. My sister's GPA is darn good. No matter how we slice it at any daggone college. She's freaking amazing. We drive each other crazy, but she's amazing. And she goes, well, Pumpkin, if I get it, if you're right behind me, I will pass so you can get it. She's a good big sister. And, I didn't offer her that. I'm just going, I feel like a loser. And I felt even a little worse even after my sister's kind gesture that I was like, how much more rejection can I take? Just like my sister doesn't, think I may be able to make it in this program without without her having to give up the position. Well, I lucked out. I get a phone call or an email saying, hey, would you be interested in the program? We have a spot open. Well, a couple of people, they didn't either they didn't have a high turnout, or a few people that had accepted no longer wanted to do it anymore. So I was like, hey-oh, I'm not the bottom of the barrel, but hey-oh. So I get into the program. I get the notification October. We start that January. And school always starts right after my birthday, and I get so salty. I get so upset. I'm just going, why? Why does it always have to be my birthday? Or right around my birthday. So school's back in session. I go, and the class is from 8 to noon. Look, on Tuesday, at least it was just once, it was once a week, but it was like 4 to 5 hours long class. And obviously I did not preface, you did have to have your prereqs done, your prerequisites. So biology, maths, English, all that fun stuff. And you had to have a C or better. It's pretty standard. A nation in the middle. This is not a BoxyCharm thing. This is about phlebotomy. So, we're already 20 minutes in. Boy, I could tell a story. Anywho, let's go ahead. And so you would spend the first 4 weeks, 3.5, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, in the lab. So it was learning the basics, taking tests, applying what you had done. Then they had us practice on this latex arm to draw blood. And then they announced several weeks later, hey, okay, next class, we're going to be practicing on each other. So, aka stab lab. I wish I had some of my syringes and my tourniquet. I'd show you. It has my name on it. I wrote my name on it with a Sharpie. They gave us tourniquets to practice. And I have to thank, and I love the nurses I work in the OR with, because they helped me learn how to, they taught me how to set an IV. Like, I can pop an IV in, and she's like, Melissa, don't be wimpy, tie the tourniquet. And I was like, okay. So I tied it, you have to tie it a certain way. So when you're still in your blood, you just pull it and it pops right off. If you ever get your, when you get your labs drawn, take a peek at the technique of how they tie their tourniquet, and you can tell what I mean, because they'll just use a little part that's sticking out like a little tie and just pull it right out. Anywho, I volunteered to go first at the stab lab, and not to stab somebody, to be stabbed. So I let a very beautiful and very lovely young lady, I think her name was Christina, I let her poke me. And she did it pretty well. Like, I didn't feel much discomfort. It was just cold, because the lab area was cold, and the needle and the alcohol was very cold. So we practice on each other with expired vials in the order of draw. Let me show you, which I have a visual. Oh my goodness gracious. I should really clean my purse. Okay. Without revealing and showing my badge. This is attached to my work badge, so. Here we go. So we have this, which shows you the varies of the uses. So we have the varies with blood cultures, the anaerobic and aerobic. You have to follow the order of draw on those. Blue top, like D-dimer test, red and gold. Those go to the blue tops go to coag. So those are, those D-dimer tests is what help see if you have blood clots. And then red and gold tops, chemistry, serology, immunology. So those are basically your CMPs, your complete metabolic panels, your BMPs, to check your pregnancy, thyroids, serum testing. Pretty standard when somebody takes a red or gold top. Now, not all hospitals adhere to using a gold top to acquire that from you. They also use that to acquire and see titers. If you go apply for a job, and especially since I work in healthcare, when you apply for a job, they want to make sure you have been, immunized. So they look for the titers in your blood and your serum. And then, as I'm patting my shoulder, what does that mean? The green tops normally go to chemistry. Sometimes those are troponin, ammonia, and you have to put that one immediately in an ice pack, on ice. Purple and pink tops, those are always either hematology, so hemo and blood bank. Pink tops are our blood matches. Those are the CBCs, those are our CBCs, the BNPs, the ESRs. And those are also trying to see the typing screens, the RH, to see if you are RH positive or negative, the HbA1cs, platelet count. It's kind of the pink and purple tops do a lot, and then gray tops pretty much always go to chemistry. Those are the lactic acid that immediately also goes on ice, and glucose tolerance tests, the GTT test. We give those to mothers who are expecting, and you do the glucose tolerance, and you drink. It's a long period that you fast, and you drink this orange stuff that tastes like a melted creamsicle or orange crush. Most places, most doctor's office, labs, and whatnot, or diagnostic centers will keep it on the fridge or keep it on ice. And sometimes when it's cool, it's easier for the patient, for the mother-to-be, to knock it back and drink it. And then you take their blood. You get a sample before they drink the glucose. You get a sample after. And then after a couple of hours, you get another sample. So there's 3 times you got to poke this person. And it was so hard to see them. Like, they're pregnant, they're hungry. 9 times out of 10, they're just so sweet. She goes, I just want to eat a sandwich. And I was like, I know. And she's like, is it almost time? I said, no, you still got 2 hours. But anyway, that was one of my experiences. I loved it. And then, well, this is just my old, like, badge. Phlebotomist. And after that, that's just my work badge underneath. And, oh, I showed a picture of myself. Don't care. Maryland. Anywho. So, you get into it, they started stabbing each other, working on each other, learning how to palpate, feel a vein, not lose the vein, rolling veins. You're learning all the techniques, how to get it out of your hand, how to get it. I've had, if you can see, one of the techniques is to rub to get the veins to stand up. But I can't really see that. Well, I have one good one, like right here, and then a lot of, I don't know if you can see some of the scars on my hand. A lot are from IVs, and from also, I've had blood taken from in between my knuckles. When I was sick in the hospital, I was on a vancomycin drip. I was blowing out veins left and right. So I have a really good vein right here, this knuckle right here, and they would just get the blood. It hurts to get vein taken out of your knuckles. Oh my God. I hate hitting hand veins, because on me, I hate it. I dislike it so deeply, and I'm pretty sure other people are not fond of it either, except if they've completely blown their veins out. And that's just from aging, illnesses, other circumstances. It happens, and that's the only place where you can get them. Okay, anywho, enough of that tangent. Then after the first 8 weeks of being in a classroom in a lab, you spend the remainder of the semester at a clinical site. And you at least go to your clinical site at least 2 to 3 times a week. I lucked out. My clinical site was across the street from where I work. So I was like, yes. I spent 6:30 in the morning till about 3:30 at night, in the afternoon. My shift starts at 2 something. So I would go over, but I had to do the clinical work, and luckily my job, worked with me. And they either just paid me the PTO or they let me make it up or whatnot. I can't remember, but that was pretty much it. It's amazing. You get your 100 sticks really quick. It's the hours. You have to get enough hours before the end of the semester and get checked off by the clinical site people to, so you can graduate, so you can finish. I did it. I got it done. You take your final exam. I got an A in the laboratory, and I got like an 89, 90 on the clinical site. And I will tell you why I didn't get like double A's, like straight A's, was because your girl didn't study. But I still passed. And I know what I was doing. I do know what I'm doing, and I do know what I I didn't know what I was doing then as well. I'm just thinking, well, it's just going to be easier for me to learn hands-on, so I'm going to get full frontal, full-on, hands-on learning experiences with people who have done it for years, who are just like, boom, 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 boom. Where I also worked, we did not just take blood. I did MRSA swabs, getting all up in the nares, all up in that nostrils. Skin samples, stool samples, EKGs, urine samples. It was a diagnostic center, so you were getting all of it. So I got a really good, really comprehensive clinical experience. I loved my clinical experience. I loved the people I worked with. I thought, oh, this is great. I'm totally going to do this part-time in conjunction with my full-time job. Yeah, no, that didn't work out. I talked about that, which I will try to remember to link, my story time about resignation and discrimination. I will try to link that either down below or somewhere up there. But my want to become a phlebotomist, it wasn't like something I really, really wanted. It was born out of desperation, of being dejected, of being rejected, and from just, time goes by so slowly. No, it doesn't. Time goes by quickly. And I just felt like my life was passing me by and I wasn't going anywhere. And I thought, well, maybe this will help and this will get me out of my funk and help me move on to the next plateau or the next step of my healthcare career. I enjoyed it. I occasionally still do it. I give tips to those that are going into it. Is it my passion? No. Is it something I'm good at? Yeah, I'm actually quite good at it. I was told by many a patient not to toot my own horn, but toot toot. I have the magic touch. Some people just hate it. I had one guy that was notorious for punching the phlebotomist or the nurse trying to, take his blood. And I was like, why y'all giving me the hand? Like, oh, you seem like you can handle it. I was like, why? Because I'm sturdy, I'm chubby, I'm 6'4", like I'm tall and chunky. I was like, oh, thanks a lot. So I get the guy, I get him in there, and I just start talking to him. I put a pillow under his arm, and I just start talking. He goes, I can't see it, or else I'll freak out, and I'll hit, I'll punch. And he's like, sometimes I hit people. And I said, it's okay. I said, here's a magazine, put it up to your face so you don't see what I'm doing. So I just talked to him. I get him talking about where his family's from, where he's from. And I tie the tourniquet so tight to the point where I was actively trying to cut off any and all sensation in his arm. And I kept going, is that too tight? Does this hurt you? He's like, no, it's fine, it's fine. So I did it a little bit directly on his bicep, and then I used the hem of the t-shirt just to help it not bite it too much into the skin. And he was one of those patients that had to have, several testings a month. Again, we're not going to violate any HIPAA here and start talking about what he had and why he had to have XYZ amount, but he had to have multiple blood draws. So I had to collect several vials. I get through it, pop my tourniquet off, put my gauze, inversion, you have to rotate. So say this was a vial of blood and you had to 1, 2. Sometimes this required at least 100 times. Most of the time, if we just stuck it in the centrifuge, it was good. But, at least you want to do it at least 30 to 40 times. And you had to make sure that you were pushing, not sloshing, but moving the blood from the bottom to the top so it doesn't separate, especially if there's additives in the tube. Didn't mention that. There are sometimes additives in the tubes that you are withdrawing blood into. EDTA is one of them. Ooh, it's been a while. I'm a little rusty. But that one I always remember. The EDTA is always one of the additives in the vial. I think yellow tops. I think gold tops. Either yellow or gold. Not 110% sure. Don't come at me, y'all. But that my bobby pin? Did I leave a bobby pin? Yes, I did. That's my bobby pin. I forgot. That's why my hair is so like super cute. It's bobby pinned up. Send help. Send help, please. Send help, please. Anywho. So, with that, you would obviously invert, and then you would send it off or put in the centrifuge to be spun. Now, this patient I had, I'm getting him done. I've got my gauze, I'm getting the Coban, which is this nice stretchy self-adhesing bandage. Coban, so cohesive or something bandage, but it's shortened to Coban. You can get them off Amazon and a lot of medical supply stores, and they're for people who, like me, I'm very sensitive to adhesive, so I'm kind of very sensitive to paper tape and other surgical tapes, so Coban is really nice. 9 times out of 10, a Band-Aid on a flu shot, or my AC where I just had a blood draw, after like an hour or two I can pop it off and I'm good to go, and that it doesn't bother me. But some people, the effect is more immediate and more severe, where they'll lose the skin where that adhesive was. Anywho, that's another tangent. I'm sorry. Pardon, but what do? I digress. Let's get back into it. Let's keep this under like an hour. So I got it. I had all of it, and I just had him confirm his name and date of birth, and popped it, and I just told him, I said, okay, you can go now. He goes, what? You can go now. He goes, I didn't feel anything. I said, I know, isn't that wonderful? And I was then for his favorite phlebotomist. Yes. Yes. But anywho, I got into it out of desperation. I turned out to like it somewhat and turned out to be good at it. Do I want to do it in the future? I don't know. If it was required and it paid well. I got lowballed at the job where I worked part-time, and I was hoping to work in the diagnostic center where I did my clinicals. Oh, no. That's not where they put me. That's not where they put me. I don't want to think about that anymore. Because it's bullshit. Anywho, I got into phlebotomy, just trying to, most of the time, it's really a good entry level to healthcare careers. See if you like it. You get patient experience, you get hands-on experience, you learn how to utilize. Every hospital has a different EMR, and every lab has a different laboratory program program that they'll use. But you learn how to work little doodads that tell you where to go with what patient, what they have to draw, and especially if you work in a hospital, it prints out their sticker. It's actually really cool. A lot of it's really nifty. But I don't think it's for me, but I do enjoy it. If I got a good offer, I'd probably be like, okay, sure, go back to doing it. I'd probably go back to doing it at a diagnostic center or something like that, or a doctor's office, instead of at the hospital where they'd have me traveling my little chubby butt from Timbuktu to the Coral Reef. Like, I'm just like, it's good exercise and I need it, but whatever. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed my rambling and story about why I got into phlebotomy, briefly what phlebotomy is, and I don't really go in depth about it. I mean, I even had to write a paper or talk about the, how, bloodletting was a thing. Like, I'm not getting that deep. I'm just giving you a bit of my history with it. So, I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope it was a little helpful. If you're thinking about it, if you thought about it, if you passed on it, let me know. I don't know. If you like, you like. If you don't, you don't. I don't ask very often, but if you want to like, subscribe, and share, thank you. If not, I appreciate you coming to the awkwardness. It was much appreciated. Thank you. And I'm leaving this in because your girl's pretty much unedited, unfiltered most of the time. Yeah, pretty much. So, if you could please just do me a solid. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. Let somebody know that you haven't talked to in a while, that you're thinking about them. Also, if you could please just, I implore you, I beg of you, please make smart choices. You will not regret it. You will not regret it whatsoever. Okay? Alright, guys. I've lived in this makeup, my fun makeup, for a long time now, so I probably need to wipe this off my face. And I smell my macaroni boiling, so I need to go attend to that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for stopping by. My Instagram handle is right there at the bottom. If you want to come say hi, I don't do anything special on my Instagram. But if you just want to say, yo, stop by. I will gladly receive your friendship or your hello. And until next time, beautiful people, bye.